Hey, what's up, everybody? See him here with the common sense agenda here. And so I took it upon my agenda to, bring back common sense. And so I'm giving you a perspective and the lifestyle of what it takes to have common sense. Because common sense ain't so common. So it's my agenda to bring back common sense. And anyhow, let's get to it here. Let's talk about censorship. All right. And when it comes to media and censorship, right? News of what came out yesterday with Meta slash Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. It came out yesterday, and we'll talk about him in a moment. What I wanted to touch on was Pavel Durov. All right, so if you don't know who Pavel Durov is, he's the CEO of Telegram. Telegram is a kind of a chat group that you can go utilize through. You could download on your computer, you could put it on your iOS or Android phones, but it's a chat app, right? It's commonly used. I'm in crypto, and it's commonly used in crypto. Um, and the chat is just simple chat conversations, um, sharing of information, whatever it is, right? Your chat. A thing about Telegram and the point of the invention of Telegram was privacy, right? That no one of outside interest has access to the conversations and all that's in Telegram. That was the whole point of why Telegram was made and invented, was for privacy. So it's been around since 2013, and then news came out over the weekend that the CEO got arrested, for whatever it is, right? And I guess it was said that you know they want access to his stuff, and he's not giving it up. So they try to arrest him for it, right? And he's all about, uh, you know, privacy of information, no censorship in terms of, whatever it is that you put, right? And that's his whole thing about it. And so he hasn't messed with it. He hasn't given it out. None of that stuff, right? And so news came out today, after his arrest for the last, was it 3, today, if you count today, 3 days. He was in police custody. They released him to court, to where now he's going to be facing questioning in court on his stuff, right? So he's not in the clear, but supposedly they might indict him for whatever, right? Maybe because he wasn't willing to give up stuff. So news of his arrest came from France, right? And France is very progressive in terms of how their government is and how they are. And the thing about progressives is that they are about censorship. They are about utilizing, you know, any sort of way to squash their, I guess you could say, competition, right? How just like how Democrat progressives are in the United States, right? Where they try to go after Trump and doing all these different things, using the Department of Justice in the wrong way to try to just get Trump hemmed up on anything they could find whatsoever. Um, and you could tell it's really trying to go after their competition, right? Because that we're at a time that now it's about the elections and voting in a new president, and people don't want the same thing. At least the thinking is that we don't want the same thing, but you idiots out there seem to want more of the same, right? With Biden and with the extension now Harris, right? And the progressive ideas that have come out of her. So news of this sort of thing came out. I don't know if that's what triggered for this to happen, right? For him to come out and admit to being pressured by the Biden-Harris administration in terms of censoring information posted on Facebook/Meta when it came to the time. This is going back to like 2021, 2022, whatever. And this is going back to when, COVID was a thing. They didn't want to have supposedly media disinformation on anything to do with COVID, and not even when it came to like funny content or what they call satire and all that stuff. And so you had that, right? And then on the side note, he was also pressured to not allow any information in regards to the whole Hunter Biden laptop Russian conspiracy sort of thing, and now it came out that he had connections to the Russians when it came to the laptop type stuff, but he was pressured into kind of censoring that information and all that stuff. So I don't know if it's something like that is what triggered him to come out with this, letter talking about this thing. Kind of fascinating that this came out. Vivek, how you say, Ramaswamy, actually had conversations with Mark Zuckerberg, and that might have triggered for Mark to come out, because it's, Vivek had conversations about, I guess he was kind of given this information in terms of just through conversation about, hey, you know what, I've been pressured by the government to censor, so I just censored it because I didn't know any better. And so Vivek just kind of just through conversations said, hey, you know what, why don't you just come clean and just let everybody know, hey, this is what happened, because no one's going to come down on you for it. I mean, some people will, but in the end, if you came out with it rather than people finding out about it, it's actually better when it's done that way. And that's what he did. He wrote the letter to the House Judiciary Committee, the Jim Jordan, and that's the information that came out of it, that he was pressured by the Biden administration in terms of really just censoring content about COVID-19 and the whole Hunter Biden laptop stuff. So, and then it just makes you think about how censorship has really affected people's thinking here in America, right? That, supposedly we're the land of the free, freedom of speech and all that stuff, but yet when it comes to this, things got blocked, things get censored. And so is it really free as you think? It's weird how they'll let freedom of speech, such as stupid protest, campus protest about Palestine and all this stuff, when it came to, free Gaza and all the other stuff, when you have Hamas terrorist group running that part of you could say that sector of the country in the Middle East, and you allow these sort of hate mongering, burning of flags, and doing all this shit in America, but yet you'll censor information on the internet. Makes you wonder how much censorship has been going on with Google, for example, right? In terms of searches, squashing of information, and all that stuff, because obviously, Facebook Meta is along the West Coast. West Coast is so blue that they're going to bend the knee to whatever the government says, because they're all in it together. It's a blue government with a blue West Coast, and so they're going to just do as they're told, because they're all in it together, which sucks, because you would have to really seek outside media, because even all the local medias, right? ABC, CBS, right? NBC, they're all blue as well. The only one you can really look at that's not blue and that's red, it pretty much is Fox, right? And if you want to seek outside of that, you would have to go to like Sky News Australia, Al Jazeera, to really get real uncensored news that doesn't block all the bullshit that's going on within the United States, right? Um, which was really disappointing, because everything that they've been doing has been screwing the Americans, right? In terms of just the government itself. And it really begs to differ, like, how bad Democrats really are, in terms of what they represent and what they're doing to everybody. Right? Think about this, all right? Everything that they've done has really screwed Americans over. Think about it. Your people that is making America what it is, right? We live in it, we work in it, we provide the taxes, right? And we're the ones that help keep the government running, right? We are part of the cog, and we fund the programs, we fund everything, right? Without the tax-based money and all that stuff, yeah, they could print money and all that, but which they've been doing, but it's not a sustainable way of things, and that's why there's inflation and all that crap, and all they're doing is just handing it out to everybody else but us. When are you guys gonna wake up and really see that everything that they've been doing has been screwing you over, especially in the last 4 years, right? When it came to disinformation, censorship, pressuring of certain things, like how people got pressured to take the COVID vaccine, things like that, right? And if you watch one of my earlier videos, I talked about how I didn't cave into that shit. Never took a flu shot, never took a COVID vaccine. And it's just disappointing, to hear that about the censorship that's going on. But at the same time, although it's disappointing, it is at the same time not surprising that has occurred, because that's what this blue government is about right now when it comes to the Democrats, how progressive they are, the continued downward spiral when it comes to just the current society, right? Defunding the police. We'll give everything to the illegals. You name it. It's everything that's the opposite of what this country is right now, right? Soft on crime. You name it, right? Inflation, so high prices in the market. Everything that used to be something is not what it used to be anymore, because it costs too damn much, and the list goes on and on. And so it's sad, and you idiots out there think that all the stuff that Kamala is saying is going to provide the answer and fix everything, right? But think about it, right? Think about it. Of all the problems that we've been facing, she's already been in office now for nearly 4 years. And when you think about it, they could have been already doing it. All the things that she talked about. Taxes on tips, which she copied Trump. Building the border wall, which is the newest thing now that she just copycatted. And I think it's pandering is what I think. That's a whole different story, but I think she's pandering. But copycatting that. If she's all about the border wall now, could have done that in the early days of this administration. And the list goes on and on, right? About what she stands for, even though it's not coming from her directly. It's all these things that the only thing she really said officially was taxes on tips, right? And then outside of that, you're only relying off of what she said in the past because that's what she stood for, all these progressive causes. And then at this time, all these things are being said, but yet it's not coming from her mouth. You're only hearing her people saying it. But until we hear confirmation from her herself, the only way to really know is just you got to hear from her. And the only other thing you could do is just rely off of what she said in the past, because that's what she stood for. There's a history of her standing for all these different things. That's just so bad. I mean, why would you want it this bad for yourselves, you know? And it's just funny. And talking to some people out here in the West Coast, especially in the Bay Area, especially the older people, let's just say older Asian Americans, right, that I've had conversations with, and they're afraid to vote for Trump because they think Trump will take away everything that they've already gotten in terms of the social services, programs and all that stuff, right? Which is sad because, there was no intention of Trump taking that away, But that's the thoughts and feelings of that. So those type of people are really supporting Kamala. So, because like I said, this whole West Coast is so blue, and they could lie to you. The blue people could lie to you till they're blue in the face, and still you're still going to vote for everything that's gone bad and everything that's gone wrong. This is obvious that there's no freedom of speech. It's obvious that they want crime to just go out of control, which has been happening, right? It's obvious they don't care about your safety. That's why they defund the police. It's obvious why businesses are closing down, because the taxes are too high, the cost of everything is too high. There's obvious that the homeless population continues to increase. It's obvious that drugs is still a major, major issue. I mean, it's just crazy how everything is. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about my thoughts on this, and it just sucks to see this now. I mean, now he's kind of turned the page, Zuckerberg, and supposedly he's not going to let that fly with him again. And so we're going to see if that's really the case, of if he's going to do what he says he's going to do, in terms of no longer censoring information and all that stuff. So only time will tell. And I guess what also inspired Zuckerberg was what happened with Trump, when it came to being on center stage and being shot, nearly shot in the head, and still stood up, bloodied, and stood up with the flag. It's an iconic moment, and that's what inspires Zuckerberg as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens though. But you can see that things are turning a page, right? Because Elon was a Democrat before and saw the bullshit, got tired of the bullshit. Maybe he hasn't outright said that he's given up being a Democrat, but to me it's kind of turning to that, turning away from it, because of now what he has learned has been censoring all for bullshit, and all the real information is all out there now, and everything that he's been doing was covering up a lie, especially with the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. And we'll see if he turns a page and maybe flip his position on maybe becoming red. You never know, right? But things need to change, because especially in California, things is not getting any better. Things have gotten worse and worse and worse. Things need to change, because they keep pandering to the illegals, they keep pandering to the criminals, and then you wonder why people don't live here, they're moving out of state, and you wonder why crime has gone up. Businesses are moving out of state or closing up altogether, and then you wonder why. And it's like, well, shit, it's so obvious. I mean, it's common sense. And all these things, right? But yet, when it comes to government, common sense ain't so common. I think because they're so snooty, they're above it all, that they don't realize that the very people that you are trying to govern, you're not seeing the mess that you're creating. And that's whether it's California government, federal government. I don't think they're really seeing it, and that's the problem. But yeah, so anyhow, just wanted to share with you guys that. We'll see what happens as time goes on. But man, you guys really got to think about it, because if you want an extension of this Biden government, which has been terrible, all right, yeah, go on ahead, keep on voting blue, vote for Kamala, because that's what you want. You want more of the same. But I think it's going to get worse, because you think Biden's progressive now? Wait till Kamala runs the show here. Yeah, man, she's going to be super progressive. All this shit she's doing now, pandering and just trying to get votes, she's going to do a bait and switch and then screw you guys over. And I'll be like, yep, I told you so. You guys fell for it. Because, it's just funny how she stood for one thing and all of a sudden pandering to what Republicans want and what people in the end really want, right? Common sense. We want a border wall. Tired of all this illegal bullshit. Think about it. Illegal immigrants technically shouldn't be here. Illegal means you shouldn't be here, but yet they're being allowed here. And the list goes on and on and on. All right. So other than that, you're witnessing the destruction of America in progress, unless things change. Other than that, I just want to say thanks for tuning in today, as we have content posted every day here. The common sense agenda, just trying to bring back common sense, people. Wake up. All right. And other than that, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and tune in, as I like to post stuff daily. Other than that, thank you, and I'll see you next one.